Hi everybody, how are you today? Sharon here, Sharon Hankins from the blog I Restore Stuff, and we're about to do a DIY project right here on Essential Stencils page. And feel free to, if you're watching the replay, to drop the word replay in the 24 hours after we've gone live for your chance at winning a prize. But if you are live today, let us know where you're watching from. And don't forget to hit that little share button and sprinkle the love around, sprinkle our live out there in Facebook land. You can pop it on your page, you can send it in a message, you can share it with a group that you might be in if you have permission to share that kind of thing in groups. So we always encourage that because you never know who might also enjoy a little DIY. Maybe they've never stenciled before, maybe they have not thought of making signs for their home decor before. So hi Cheryl and Janice and Kim. How are you all doing today? Are we crafting? Anyone crafting out there at the same time as we're doing our live today? Hi, Kimberly. Yeah. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for sprinkling. That's awesome. Oh, well, it's a cold, wintry day here in Australia, in Queensland. That's where I'm tuning in from today, and I'm super excited to be here. So we're going to be doing some fun fall decor. We call it autumn over here. We don't usually use the word fall, but we're going to do some of that, and we're going to do some Christmassy themes because guess what? Actually, it's not just Christmas and fall stencils that are on sale this week. It's a whole bunch of stencils. It's sale, sale, sale time. And you will see that there's only 2 days left. We've got 25%, 40% and 50% off on some of the stencils. They're all marked. I've got the links there in the description of the live, but you get an additional 10% off if you use my code. Here it is, I Restore Stuff. So that's up to 60% off some of those stencils. So I'm going to be showing you some of those sets today. Maybe I'll just hold up a couple of my favorites also. Yes, you wish it was cool there too, Christy. I know. All right, let me just point you down here. I think I've got the live going over here on my laptop so I can read your comments here also. Awesome. There we are. Thank you, Kimberly, for sprinkling the greatness. Cassie, you got some today that were on sale and you've got more coming. That's amazing. Yeah, so some of the ones I'll be doing today are right here on my board. Let's see if I can get it at the right angle so that we can see it all. Okay. So we've got two main sets that I'll be working on with this sign here, and you can see all the fall fun things here. There's the fall mini icons set. Now, if you do hit the description of the live, you'll see a list there, excuse me, of all the stencils we'll be using today. And also the paint colors that I'm using, because I know I often get asked, what color is that? What color is she painting with? And I always list a supply list of those colors in the description of the live. The other one is called Fall Vibes. Fall Vibes is the other set that we'll be using. So I'll show you each of those as we go through. The other one I want to try and use in a minute is for a round sign, but I'm going to use this great big vintage style winter stencil set. It's a 2-pack actually. Winter Wonderland. I just love the look of these old vintage signs. Oops, there we go. It's a 2-pack set, and I want to use this one, Ice Skate Rentals. I do have a round signboard, so some of these will be missing off the sign, but I thought it's got a nice round shape to the lettering, so we can use that. As you probably, if you've seen me before, you'll know that I just change things up a bit. Now, I'm not using this one today, but I did want to let you know that it was so popular last year, and they ran out of stock last year. It's back on the sale, and it is on sale. It's a 3-piece set of these, what do they call it? Modern Christmas trees. So there's 3 different styles in that. Don't forget to grab that if you're getting if you're on the sale page today. They've got transfers on sale. I know sunflowers, the bird cage transfers, they're all on the sale. So don't forget to use my code and get extra 10% off even already marked down prices. So just wanted to mention those other ones because I know that they were super popular last time, and there may not be a lot left of some of those ones that I showed you just now. So Cassie, you've got a booth. That's so exciting. I love seeing some of you on here. You get lots of inspiration for making signs for your antique booth stalls. I've got an antique booth as well in our town and our city of Brisbane here in the suburb of Camp Hill. If there's anyone from Australia watching, I feel like my camera's a little crooked today. I don't know. I won't fiddle with it. All right, here's what's in this set called Fall Mini Icons, and they're not so many. They're 3 by 3, but they look sort of large compared to our sign. We've got the pine cone, which I'd love to try and use this for a Christmas themed. I think this would be great for Christmas too, you know, in some metallics or something, and then putting some snow on the top. I might try and do something on one of these black squares today if I get time to think about that. But I want to sort of layer these icons all over my background. I've painted a board here in the colour Hazelwood. It's kind of a greyish, I don't know, a grey-brown colour. I thought it lent well to the fall vibes. That's called Hazelwood by Fusion Mineral Paint. And then I've just painted a plain background, but we want to be using these icons today. So we've got the pine cone, the gourd, we would probably call it, this is a butternut. You call it squash, we call it pumpkin over here. Butternut pumpkin, I say in Queensland. And we've got a regular pumpkin. And then we've got, what is this, wheat, I suppose? Beautiful little wheat design, I like that. We'll use that to fill in some spots here. We've got a fall leaf. Is that a maple leaf or is that some other kind of leaf? Excuse me, I'm fighting a little bit of a cold here, so if I do happen to sniffle or clear my throat, I'm so sorry. And then an acorn. Now, we don't really have these over here in Australia either. Some of them a little bit different in proportion, like I don't think acorns are the same size as pine cones, correct? But we're just going to make these fun. And we're going to use some of these fun fusion colours, bayberry. I've got some copper metallic that I'll use today, some mustard colour, and a red Winchester. So I'll go through those as we do our sign. Originally I thought, you know, maybe I'll just use the leaf. Yes, everyone calls it butternut squash over there. Even zucchini, we just call it zucchini, and I think you guys call it zucchini squash. Anyway, I was going to do this for the leaves and do like a design on the side, like a border for my stenciled sign, because what I do want to do is use this Full Vibes set and add this one to the middle. So we've got Full Vibes set has this one that says grateful, thankful, blessed. And I think you could use that at any time of the year, but it's going to look especially fall like today. We've got a pumpkin in this set also. This is 6 minis, mini pack. Now this one's on sale as well today. And I should have written down the prices and how many percents off. I think one of these is in the 40% category, the other one's in the 50% category. So 50% off, plus you get my extra 10%, so it could be 60 for you. Full vibes, isn't that cool? I like that. And then there's this one which says Happy Thanksgiving. There's a, is that called a cornucopia? We don't have those over here either, because I think that's an American thing for your Thanksgiving. Hi Penny. Oh, I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you. Hello Joni and Jackie. Laurie's here too. Oh, and I went through that with the pumpkin. Okay, so that's what's in this set here. And I'm going to be using this one from that set. So let's get started. I was thinking about just doing a border, and then I thought, let's just do everything and put it all on the board. Now, it could look a bit too much, but the way that I'm going to do it, I'm hopefully thinking that it will work okay. I want to sort of have the pumpkin centered as a feature here. And I want to sort of go a little bit like this, up and around, having different things all over the place. And we may even put 2 of these on here. So to do this, I wanted to use some of these fall colors. And look, I'm just winging it. And you may or may not agree with it, like it, but please leave comments, let me know what you think, because I sometimes go to my comments and go, should I do this? Should I do that? So if we're going to put the pumpkin as a bit of a feature, we want to do that one last, because as we're layering it, we'll go in underneath the pumpkin for that. So you sort of have a little bit of an idea. I think the acorn's quite large, like the pine cone, so maybe they could shape over this way. Then we could add the gourd on top, a leaf over here, sort of like so. But we're going to do it sort of with such a dry brush that it will create a bit of a background effect. Let's see. And then if we do our pumpkin, and then we can do this, maybe we'll put one of these behind, maybe in front. We'll see, hey, we'll see. All right, let's start with, and I'm going to add some copper. I might do that as a little finish up. So I want to do mustard on the pumpkin, so we'll leave that one for that, probably a little bit of white there. But we're going to use sort of a dry brush method. When you're stenciling, the one important thing we need is some paper or cardboard to offload. Green, we could do leaf. This is going to need a little bit of a mustardy colour also. Let's start then with this butternut squash up here in the corner and create a bit of a mustard look on that. And in between these, so because we've got such a large space here, I'll choose a large brush. So our brushes come in a set of 4, and the brushes, I've got a link for the brushes there also. So we'll use our piece of paper, we dip our brush, and there's a great big blob on the end there. I definitely don't want to use all of that. Let me just turn the light on here a second, because I think it'll help a little. And we're going to offload that into the jar first of all. I just want to offload, see we've just got a big chunk right there in the jar. Then I want to use my paper and just swish that around in the brush, but because we've got such a large section in here to fill, you could literally offload some of that inside. But we are going to make a bit of a background here, so we don't want to, I want it sort of a bit, how do I say it, rustic. So we don't want to just fill it all in totally solid, we're going to make it a bit rustic. Okay, oops. I feel like I've got a bit of too much of a blob in the centre, but it's okay. Don't forget to sprinkle as we're live here. You can share this around with other folks. All right, so there's our first little part of the pumpkin. Now we sort of want it to blend in. While I'm going to do another colour, I'll just pop that into a plastic bag. We'll come back to that colour. Let's see, what else should we do? Over here, we want to try this, and I'll add that down here. We'll add a pumpkin here. Could sort of just layer it all over. So we want to try and move these around a bit. And I know some of these colours, I'm probably like, you know, we're not going to see green acorns, but I'm just using the fall colours for the sake of just being all autumn and everything. Okay, so another one. We've got this colour is called Bayberry. Essential Stencil has popped the link for our stencil set that I'm using right now. So we've got the fall minis, are they called? Oh. Fall Icons mini set. And then the other one I'll be using is called Fall Vibes. So offloading a lot onto the brush here, onto the piece of paper or cardboard. And we're just doing this acorn, and it's got a large section in the middle as well. And again, this isn't going to turn out, it's very subtle because these are all dark colours, but then we're going to add our words on top, and that's going to add the brightness to it. So hopefully there'll be enough to stand out and create a bit of a background. I love to experiment with you guys. You're such a wonderful, a wonderful audience to. The board is called, the greyish brown on the board is called Hazelwood, and it's one of the Fusion Mineral Paint colours. So that is really subtle. I don't know if you can even see that from there. I'll hold that up so you can see. Oops. See the dark acorn right there. So if I wanted that to really stand out and pop, I could probably add add some more, like a bit of a shadowy kind of thing to that. So maybe I'll do that in a little while. Let's see how this one turns out. Maybe let's go for a bit of, oh, we could do a couple of colours on this one. What else have I got? Pine cone here, pumpkin, and then the leaf thing. So with the leaf, let's try a little bit of green. Just whatever's left on the brush, which isn't much, and it's probably not going to stand out. Then we'll add, popping that in the plastic bag, a little bit of red, sort of this rusty red, and I will be adding a bit of copper. Maybe the copper will be a good highlight there for some of those that we've just done. Oops. This is called Winchester. I'll use a tiny brush for this, even though there is a lot of space there to fill. Actually, we'll use the second to last one. Whoop. Once again, using our paper, offloading the brush, and I'll put that right where the green was. You really can't see that green. I might just go over that, but coming in from the edges. And remember, I'm just sort of doing this rustically. I'm really making it up as I go along, guys. Oh, wow. And going over that green because I really couldn't see it very well. But we'll add a little bit of copper to the edging later and see how that turns out. Hello, Wendy from Oklahoma. Some people from Myrtle Beach. Summer holidays over there. We call it summer. Oh, we call it summer holidays. You probably say summer vacation. The kids, I'm guessing, are all still on school holidays for the summer over there. I feel like this is a little bit. No, that's all right. So you can see our colours, our autumn colours are all starting to come together. This is going to create a background for our words that we've got going on over here. Just doing one at a time so far. Where's our next one? Our pine cone. I was thinking of doing, well, it'll probably have to be a bit of a, thinking the mustard colour. Maybe we'll do this one in the copper. Add some copper to the other pieces, but if we start this with copper, let's have a look. So this is Fusion Mineral Paint's metallic range, and it's a gorgeous copper effect. So you could tape these down also, but I've just, I'm just holding it this time. Use painter's tape if you want to hold it down. And I'm just doing some spattery copper bits, mostly around the edges, and then now I'm going to brush a little bit of a swirly. We've got it strong around the edges on here, and I'm actually not going to add any more copper to my brush. As we get to the center, it's just going to look less and less and less. So it's tapering off, but we can still see that copper there. So what I'm trying to do is, hopefully this is not going to stand out to overtake the rest of the images there, but oh, I like it. And you probably can't see it. Oh yeah, you can see it shimmer. So we don't want it to take over too much, but what I do want to do is add a little bit of copper to around this acorn here. It is a cute set, isn't it? Yep, some people really like to use the tape, and you can. I just am not going to use the tape. It'd be just a little bit quicker for me. All right, so I'm placing this down exactly where I had the acorn, and I do have the green there. Now I'm not adding anything to the brush just yet. I'm just going to use what I had going on the center of that, what do you call it? Pine cone right there. So just going to add some, see if there's any left first, and then I'll just adding it to the edges. A little bit of a shimmer, and hopefully it will help to just showcase where the edges are, because that bayberry green that I used is really very close in tone or shade to the hazelwood, the underneath. So we'll just have a little blend on the edges, and let's see if that stands out a little bit more. Oh, it kind of looks 3D. Look at that. So let me see. Can you see that there? So it kind of gives it a bit of a 3D look with that copper in there. I have to hold it up really close. All right, so we're just making a background again for some words that we'll be placing all over the top. Now I've only got one of these reds on here. Maybe I could also then use red to add some more tones, even to the bottom of the pine cone. I'm not sure. Then we want to add our pumpkin on here, and we want to add some of these little wheat kind of, is it wheat? I did ask that before, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I might add this to the background of here. So I'll put my pumpkin around about where we want it. And this wheat, what could we do? We could do that mustard as well. Let's go with that mustard colour, using that same brush that I had earlier. If you've just joined us, welcome. We are stenciling here today, stenciling some fall, and we are mentioning the big sale that we've got going. It's like a Christmas in July sale. There's 40% off, 50% off stencils, 25% off stencils, plus if you use my code, I Restore Stuff, you get an extra 10% off. So there's that. All right, just adding this here to make it a little bit of a rustic effect. You could go over and do it more solid if you wanted to, but I just wanted to leave these as a subtle stencil in the background. Yep, that's cute. I'll lift that up so we can see that addition. I wanted to use one on the other side also, so now that we've got that one there, but I could use it in front of the pumpkin this time. So we'll add that. You know what? I'm doing the pumpkin mustard, so I should have probably done the wheat a different colour. Didn't think about that, but we can just, I don't know, we can add some other things in here. Let's just maybe even try adding a touch of white to the pumpkin first, and then we'll go over it, because white will really bring that as to the forefront. And then I was going to flip the wheat over. So we've done that side. We can flip it over and do the background coming up here into the copper. We could even do that white, you know. Why don't I try that? Now that I've done this one this way, I feel like that I will just add a bit of white onto that. Another colour. So we've got this colour white here. I'm making sure that's nice and dry first before I go over it. It's a bit of a trick to try and get your colours all standing out. So this green is kind of not really standing out too much, but I'll have a look at it in a minute, see if we want to add anything extra. We could add extra pine cones, extra, you know, you could layer it all. Let me see. White, we've got this white is called Picket Fence by Fusion. Oh yes, you could do an ivory pumpkin. That's a great idea, Christy. Thank you. Good idea. So you could even do a little bit, and the ivory, you could get that like bluish tinge, couldn't you, for the pumpkin? Okay, so I'm just going to put this wheat over here for a minute and add some white over the top of that. Oh, it's hard to tell where it exactly was. I think that's it. And so hopefully we'll see a little bit of that in the background. And I'm just kind of splattering it here with a bit of the white. And that'll sort of make it stand out a bit different to the pumpkin, hopefully. Let's see, how does that look? Yes, a little bit of a smattering. So see how I just pounced, and then you can see the edges there. Kind of finish it off nicely. All right, let's try this pumpkin. So I was thinking about the, I will start it with this solid mustardy colour, and then I'll go over it with the white, I think. I wish I had an ivory sort of a colour. I could actually add a little bit of white to the mustard, couldn't I? Adding some of this, holding it there, down the bottom. We could add that green to those leaves too. Now just be careful on these. The pumpkin has very thin, what we call bridges, bridge lines, right there. So if I did too much swirling, it would, got a bit of fluff on my brush. If I did too much swirling, it would lift those up and you may get paint underneath them. So that's one thing to be careful for when you're stenciling. Just a little smattering here. And while I've got the pumpkin stencil on there, I'm going to grab this green. Some are a little bit more subtle than others here. I think this stands out, this one not so much. Mixing my colours a little bit there. Just a little bit of green here. And again, it may not stand out as well, but I do like the idea of that ivory tone. I wish I had a sort of like, we've got over here, we call them Queensland blue pumpkins, and they're the state of Queensland is the state that I'm from, and they've got that blue, nice blue skin. It's kind of a bluish grey skin colour. Okay, let's have a look at that. And again, like I was thinking, we won't be able to see that green too well on the, I've got other little flecks of red on here. Don't know where that came from. Probably the edge of a jar. So far, see how we're working on it? We're just kind of adding little bits here and there, add some more layers. We could even add another leaf. I feel like there's a bit of a gap here, so we may just add another leaf onto that. We could add something down here. Oh, we were going to add our wheat, so let's do that. And we're flipping over the wheat, so we did it this way, now we're going to do it this way, and I'm bringing it in front of the pumpkin, and it's going to come up into the pine cone right here. Right about there. Let's see, what colour are we up to? I think I'll just do that in a bit of a subtle white. And, oh, that's good. Christy said they all stand out from this point of view. Turquoise would be pretty as well. Yes, for the pumpkin, absolutely. I think that would be nice. I do like the colours of the, there is a bit of a variety in colours of pumpkins, isn't there? Now, to do this, you know how I flipped the wheat stencil upside down? You would want to make sure that it was really well cleaned off and totally dry. You can't have wet stencils or wet brushes when you're stenciling for best results, because it will thin the paint out and it will sort of bleed all underneath your stencil. So, but because my paint on the other side, that from doing it this way, it had dried out completely, I'm pretty confident that I won't get any paint while it's upside down on here. So there we go. There's that little bit of wheat coming up here. Should I match it to the other side? What do you think? Does it stand out too much and I should add a little fleck of mustard in there? Maybe so. I like that. While we're thinking about that, I'll try and look for your answers here. Do you think I should add a little bit of the mustard over here? Let me know in the comments. Yes, match it. Yep, you're all saying match it. Okay, remind me to do that in a minute. Oops, I'm looking for the leaf. So let's see, another leaf colour. Maybe I'll do a leaf right here, and we'll do a bit of We'll do a bit of green on this side to cover up that, to go over the red, and then maybe a changing leaf. How about that? A changing leaf? Although maybe we need to do it this way. I'm trying to think what other colours we've got for leaves here. I didn't bring enough colours, it seems. Maybe we could do some copper again on this side of things. Where is my copper? I think that's the copper. I've got my brushes all sitting next to each other and it's hard to tell which one's which. Okay. Copper to green, let's do that. And again, I'm going sort of like I did with the pine cone around the edges here, but I'm going to blend this and do the green on the other side. So pouncy, pouncy, pounce. And then let's get this green. Grab my green brush. And then come from this side. And I'm blending it in towards, now I do want to cover up that red because otherwise that would look a bit crazy. And then I'm blending it with the copper center. Let's see how that works out. Oh yeah. So you could try all sorts of different colors. We're creating a fun, colorful fall background here. I still feel like that acorn needs a little something else. Let's go back to that, what was it, mustard we were doing with this wheat pattern here, just to match it up with the other side. So you could use these same techniques for a whole bunch of things. Oh my goodness, where is it? Oh, there it is. Like, oh, I'm not matching this up very well, am I? Did I do it the other way? No, I can't find the match. There we go. That wasn't as hard as I thought. I was making it more difficult than what it was. All right, doing a little pounce just to kind of match it. Now, last time I put the mustard down first and put the white on top on this side. This side I've put the white down first and dabbing the mustard on top. So we'll see how that goes. Kind of, maybe I need a little more mustard. We'll sprinkle everywhere. Oh, it's not really standing out as, it's not looking as the same as the other side. I don't know. I don't know what I've done. I think it's this bit here that's not looking as the same, and maybe I just haven't got enough mustard on my brush. Let's try that again. Yep, that's a little better. A little better. Okay, so now I'm looking around at the different colours. I don't know, maybe we'll add, I've got just this red, one red standing out sort of just here. So maybe I'll add a little bit more red to this acorn. So I might just get the red on the brush, find my acorn again. And I know I've got copper on it. I've got also green in the background, but let's just try adding a bit more red to this side of the board. So you're sort of just looking around, trying to create a little bit more uniformity, a little bit more evenness about the place. But we don't want it too heavy, so just going to add that to the outside edge of the acorn. I might even do it as a bit of a shadowy kind of thing. Let's add it right there. All right, just a subtle red. And that just brings that tone in from this side over to this side. Even though I've got the wheat then coming up here, so I kind of feel like I need to make that wheat stand out. So see how there we've got a nice blend of that acorn. So you can just kind of fiddle with it, mess with it a bit more, make sure that you've got all the right colours. I want this white coming on top of the red that I've done there with the acorns. I'm just going to finish that off. Just a little detail that I feel like I need to fix. Oh boy, here we go. Just got to get it in the right place. All right, so the white. How are we going? You all like this so far? And we'll get on to my winter skates sign in just a minute. There we go. That's just so that we can make sure that that's standing out over the top of the red there. So there we go. Oh, how do you think that is looking? I feel like I want to add something else somewhere. I'm not sure what. Maybe a little bit more. We'll add some copper up here on this gourd or butternut. Get that copper going. While I've got the copper here, I wanted to try this Christmassy idea. Oh, Christmas idea on this pine cone. Where is it? Here it is. So I'm just laying that back down, and I'm just going to add this to the stalk just for a bit more coppery bling up here on this end of it, and then bringing it down to sort of make a bit of a subtle difference there. Look at that. So just adding that right to the very top of that pumpkin-y gourd. And grabbing my acorn again, because I'm just not quite satisfied. Need to add some more copper while I've got my copper brush here to where we had it over this side. Just adding a bit more. Oh, wow, I didn't know that there was that much on my brush. So we're just making it a little bit more standing out. And then because we're doing the words in white, I think they'll really stand out. There we go. I feel like there's lots of shading going on there, but see that metallic just really makes and picks up the whole piece, doesn't it? We could even add that, a bit of that metallic, to this pumpkin down here, because we don't have any metallic going on the pumpkin, and we want that to sort of be our feature. Now, because this green is not standing out very much, maybe I'll just add a bit to that. And then also bring it down like we did. Now my words might go over this. I haven't checked my word situation yet, but let's go. Maybe a little on the bottom too. It won't be too heavy, it'll just be subtle. There. Subtle pumpkin bling. How's that looking? I love that shimmer. Can you see that? Crazy. Okay, so let's add our words, but first I was going to just grab one of these black cardstocks these come in your, they separate all of the stencils. Hello, for those of you joining in, yes, this one's on sale. This whole set is on sale, and same with the words set that I'm going to be using right here in just a minute. I'll show you that here. I'm going to be using this one in the center of our sign. And this is the Fall Vibes set. The other set that I'm using today, it's right there at the pinned link, and it's called the Fall Mini Icons. So those are the two. Don't forget to use my code iRestoreStuff if you are ordering anything today, because you will take advantage of an extra 10% on the huge sale that they're having right now. We've got 50% off, 40% off, and 25% off items. Okay, so I'm not doing this on the sign. This is on the black cardstock. Maybe just to avoid confusion, I'll just do that right here. And My piece of paper is stuck. Okay, just going to do a copper pine cone, and I want to add some white snow to the top of it. I just wanted to try this out because I haven't tried this, but I thought it'd be great with gold, for example, for Christmas themed signs where you could use a whole bunch of pine cones around the bottom of a sign and then add your Christmas themed stencil to the top of it with words. So I'm just doing a round swirly motion. Now I can do that because my brush doesn't have a lot of paint on it. I'm just going to go around the edges up here, but I will be going over that with a little bit of white. Now when I dip it in the paint, I always need to rub off the brush so I get the excess rubbed off. Now this is going to be a nice, and you could do this more solid if you wanted to make it really stand out as completely metallic, but it's got enough shimmer there that I think it's got enough shimmer going on that you can tell that it's copper. So let me lift that off. And isn't that gorgeous? Just by itself with this, you can imagine that on some black Christmas cards or, you know, a black background sign. That's just going to look amazing. So you could create Christmas cards. You could even put a Christmas, you know, one of the mini tags or the mini Christmas sets with the wording across the middle like that. But I just wanted to add some snow caps because I think that would be cute, you know. Might even add it as a bit of a shadow. So I'll shift it slightly. And then I'll get my white brush. First of all, you want to make sure that's really super dry. So I will just hit that with the hairdryer over here. Make sure that that is. It does. Joyce Ann says metallic gives it a 3D effect. Yeah. Looks beautiful and shimmery. So yeah, if you want to grab that. Oh, it's bent my cardboard a bit with the heat. But anyway. And this is quite dry. Doesn't matter if it isn't though. I will grab the white brush, so my brush that I had the white on to begin with, and we'll add some snow caps on just the top part of this, I think. And I've shifted it slightly across and up just ever so slightly because I want to make sure that I create a bit of a shadow effect at the same time. Now I can tell you already I don't have enough on my brush. It feels like I don't have enough, but you can always add more. It's a bit harder to take it off once it's there, and if you've got too much, you're like, well. Yes, Britta, you'll have to rewatch and see how I did the other leaves and the shapes and everything. You can watch the replay anytime. It's always just stays up on the Facebook page once we've gone live. In fact, you'll see a bunch of playlists there with our different themed playlists there. If you're looking for particularly Christmas stencils, or if you're looking particularly for how we do this shadowing technique, there's a whole playlist there in the video section of Essential Stencils Facebook page here. Okay, I'm just adding the white quite a little bit more heavily to the top, and then I'll just sort of blend it down. So hopefully you can see this okay. So here we go. Now I'm just starting to do a little bit of a sprinkle. We'll see how that looks. Hopefully we can still see a little bit of that copper effect there. Come to about halfway down. You could do as much as or as little as you like, but look at that. I love it. I love the shimmer of the copper. So imagine that on a sign with a bunch of pine cones all down the bottom. Yeah, so I just wanted to try that technique because I saw that pine cone in this mini fall set and I thought, to me, metallic pine cones scream Christmas decor. And so I wanted to show you that. Now let's go on, and I'll wash those later. And let's go on with the rest of our sign here that we've been working on. And I'm just going to add the words to the top. So I've got my white brush here. I'll show you that. Don't forget to use my code iRestore stuff. All the stencils that are on sale today are amazing. So here are the signs that are in here. I did show this earlier. I think we're going to be using Thankful, Grateful, Blessed. We've got Happy Thanksgiving, Fall Vibes, a cornucopia. Fall is my favorite. And then a cute pumpkin. pumpkin, a different kind of pumpkin than this one. So there's all different types. Then you could create a whole pumpkin field with all the little pumpkins. Okay, so now I'm going to add this right in the center. Grateful, thankful, blessed. And I was thinking, now you could do it one of two ways. You could tape off that wreath around the outside and not use it at all and just have the words in the middle. Or you could leave the wreath there and, you know, have it there. So what do you think? What would you do? Oh, thank you, Rhonda. Yeah, I love the snow effect too. So let me know in the comments, what would you do? Would you leave this wreath here and just do the words? Or no, so yeah, would you leave the wreath there or just do the words? So it's a very cute little wreath with some little berry type things around the outside of it. For right now, I'm going to just leave it on instead of taping it all off. And I was thinking about taping this edge down here, but I think I'll be good enough not to hit the edges on that. So you just want to be making sure. So this is our Fusion's white called Picket Fence. I'm using a small 1/2-inch brush. The brushes are from Essential Stencil. Okay, Penny says, I think the wreath will take away from the background. Leave the wreath, leave it there to tie them all together. Yeah, I kind of feel like I want to tie the words all together. Don't put the wreath, no wreath. So I love it. I love it. Everyone's got a different idea of what it might look like. So I'll show you what it looks like with the wreath on there, just for sake of time, so I don't have to tape it all off. We'll just start with the words in the middle first. Oops. Sometimes if I feel like I've got a little bit too much on my brush, you'll just see me pouncing and not so much swirling. Not much of a, what do you call that? Dabbing or pouncing, but a bit more pounce and swirl, pounce and swoosh. So I pounce, hold it, instead of up and down, pounce, hold. And then as I get less and less on the brush, I can do a bit more of a swirl kind of a thing. Now, I think that I'm just running out around about here. I'm going to peek. Not going to show you. I'm just going to have a little peek. Oh, yep, looking great. You'll have to wait. Oops. Okay, so offloading your brush as much as you can. Hi, Mel. Glad to see you here. Yes, Diana, true. You could start without the wreath and then decide. So then you would know. So, yeah. Now, look at that. I thought I would have to tape off the wreath, but I've actually done just enough. Well, I've probably hit the wreath in certain spots, but I will show you what it looks like without, and then I am going to add it because I've accidentally done a little splitch over here. I can place it right back down where I found it. So here it is without the wreath, although you'll see a little bit of my wreath, you know, because I didn't tape it off. That is cute too. I do like that. But we will add the wreath now, and you'll see. We'll tie it all together. And then, so putting it down exactly where it was, make sure I've got it in exactly the right spot, and then we'll add the wreath to that. So there you go. I gave you a look at what it looks like without the wreath, and now we'll add it on. Now the wreath mainly goes in this direction, so we can sort of brush the brush in that direction, as long as you have not much paint on your brush. If you have too much paint, remember, it'll go under the edges, and we don't want that. Just starting to run out. Add a bit more. I do love that metallic, don't you? So that's Fusion's copper. Now, if you do want my affiliate link for Fusion Mineral Paint, I would love it if you used that link. If you don't have a local Fusion retailer, they ship it straight from Canada to the US, and pretty easy to get it. So I've got a affiliate link there. If you just ask in the comments, I'll be happy to put that on there for you. I'll answer your comments afterwards. There we go. So it kind of ties all the words together. I'm happy with that. I was really concerned about how all these would turn out. As I look at it now, I probably could have gone a little bit closer to the edges and even overlapped, so I could have had the leaf almost going off the edge over this way. But I really like how that turned out. I like my little pine cone there. Let's see, my next stencil that I had planned for today is quite a quick one. So even though we've only got a few minutes left, it is a quick and easy one to do. So let me grab that really quickly. And I will be just using the white paint to do a quick stencil, but I just wanted to show you how you can use a round board. And I'm gonna, this is, I didn't bring my measuring tape, guys. I didn't bring it, but I will push all these paints aside. Let me do that first. Secure the lids later. So it's a round board, but we've got a really long rectangle, and you can absolutely do these on a rectangle sign. Now it's two-sided. We've got a 2-pack Ice Skate Rentals, and this one, I can't remember what % off, but it's on the sale. Don't even know how many of these are left, but some of them were had a little less left than others on the sale. So, but it will tell you on there, like if there's 9 left or if there's 30 left, it'll tell you. If there's lots left, then it usually won't say. So you don't know, you don't have to be worried about missing out, but I'm not sure. I didn't look at this one. So we've got a round board, but you know what? I like that the words all fit on the board. So that's the most important factor for me. If I just find, like literally I found this at a thrift store. It's actually a double-sided, what they call a double-sided placemat, and it's a really nice, I don't know, I guess it's MDF with maybe a veneer, but it looks nice and solid. And this side was already painted in this grey colour. I actually just added a dark black sort of glaze there, and that's highlighted all those grains in the wood finish. So when you find stuff like that, I bring it home and then I see what stencils might fit. And this one obviously doesn't, but I'm going to make it fit because that's what I like to do. So I see that the words fit, and that's the most important thing. And I like the way that they sort of taper, and then we've got the ice skate boots up here. So I could tape off, but I'm not even going to worry about taping off. I've got some, I want to go up and down with the grain of the wood, and I'm just placing that right here. I could add some tape to the bottom. Let's do that just to make sure that we don't go anywhere. Oop, my tape's all coming apart. Oop, well, that'll do. I think that's, yep, around about the right. The right length, width. Lost my tape, running out of tape. This is for all my friends watching who love to tape off. We are going to do that for you. No need to be worried. Okay, so now we're going to offload our white. Again, I'm dipping it in. This is Picket Fence, really bright white, so it'll stand out nicely against that grey. And all we're going to do is go over and do all the words and the patterns. I like the patterns. Let's start with these words anyway. And it should be super fast because I've got hardly any paint on my brush, and we want to make a nice rustic sign. Add it as you go, add a little bit more paint, but we've just got to be careful not to have too much on our brush. And this will be a nice wintry Christmas sign. Is anyone else sort of a sign maker? You've got an antique booth somewhere and you're thinking about starting to create and make signs for fall and Christmas for your shop. I know that a lot of people who are makers, who especially make for their shop or for markets, they actually need to start at this time of year. And some people might think, well, isn't that a bit too soon for Christmas? No, it's actually not when you're a maker, because you think about it, you've got to be manufacturing the stuff, and then by the time you finish doing all of that and get all your goods together and ready, then it's time to put them in the stores for people to buy for Christmas decor around, you know, September, October or whatever. So no time like the present, especially while we're having a big sale, and you can use my code IRESTORESTUFF and get a further 10% off. So that makes it that some of the items you'll see on sale will be, including my code, they'll be up to 60% off, which is a huge saving. Tape is my best friend, says Patty. Yep. Teresa, you're a sign maker wannabe. You go, girl. You can be whatever you want to be. All right. So I like these little fiddly bits. It's a very vintage looking sign. They look great in a skating rink. Maybe kids want to decorate their bedrooms as a fun one for a kid's decoration for a bedroom, I think, or an outdoor. See, where I live we have 0 snow ever. Doesn't snow in winter. Anywhere where I live. And in Australia, you have to travel further south to see any snow because we are on the southern hemisphere, and so the further south you go, the colder it gets. And so we are going, not skating, but skiing in September with my family. Can't wait for that. Going to meet up with our boys who live in Melbourne, and going to fly down and then drive up to the hills and go skiing. I can't wait. Well, not that I'm a skier. I've probably been twice in my life because, you know, we don't have snow. We have to fly places to go see snow. I know, no snow. Christy, yes, I know. You love the cold, white weather. So these little bits, fiddly bits that are around the edges, I'm just filling them in, see what happens. You know, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we'll just see. Where are you going to ski, Maggie says? It's in the mountains down in Victoria. So Victoria is one of the states in Australia. Melbourne is the capital city there. That's where our boys live. And up in the hills in the country of Victoria, in the mountains, there is snow in wintertime. They have ski fields up there. So that's where we'll be heading for a few days in September. So right now is our winter, but you know, post winter is sometimes the better time to ski because you get some sunny days, but still there's snow on the mountains, you know. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, nearly finished here. See how quick and easy that was? Quick and easy while we're sitting here chatting. Yes, I'm just making it fit to my board. Who was that? Johnny Garrison. Okay, let's see. I hope this is turning out bright and white. We've got a grey background, but I did add a bit of a sort of like a charcoal black glaze type finish over the top of the grey placemat, and because it has a lovely wood grain, that black glaze sits in the grain of the wood. Now, if this isn't bright enough or the white doesn't feel like it's solid enough, then you can always go back and do a second coat. I'm just going to have a peek in a minute, make sure I've got all of the different bits because I can still see some of that wood grain through the stencil. I want to make sure that it looks like it actually stands out because I can still see some of that. There, let me have a little look. Oh, I think that's looking fine. Oh, yep, looks like I had a little bit too much on my brush in some spots, but I think we've got it all. How quick and easy was that? All right. Going to pop this into the bag so that we know. So this is the 2-pack set, and the other one, I love it too, and it would be great for a Christmassy winter wonderland, hot cocoa ice skating, Christmas carols. Beautiful Christmas. So there's lots of Christmas stencils on sale, lots of fall stencils. There's even 4th of July stencils, so, get in ready for next year. I hope you all had a great 4th of July. I'm so proud of myself. We are from Australia, so we didn't even have 4th of July here, but my husband's from America and his dad lives over here too. He's from America, so I made a 4th of July cake or dessert. So I was very proud of myself with the berries and the strawberries, making them look like a flag cake. So I did that. Guys, that turned out really well. So see how we can make just a rectangle. And so then I'll probably drill a couple of holes right here, maybe add some ribbon, a white ribbon or something like that to add, and then we can hang it up. So how cool is that? So we've done 2 signs today using some of the stencils that are on sale. Excuse me. We've got some winners to announce. Let me pop the camera up so we can see. So our winners today are Bambi, Michelle, and Bonnie. Those 3, don't forget everybody, use my code, iRestoreStuff, save 10% extra on the 50 and 40% off sale that's on right now. Those people who are tagged as prize winners, congratulations. You can go and email Essential Stencil, let them know you were a winner on Sharon's live today, and if you missed how we did these, you can go back and watch the replay. And we'd also created this copper metallic pine cone with snow on the top of it. So I hope you enjoyed that today. I'll be back again for another DIY live next week, and I look forward to seeing you next I keep saying Thursday. It's Thursday here in Australia. Next Wednesday night, 7 p.m, same time every week. See you then. Bye.